Right now, a handful of companies are racing to control the most powerful technology humanity has ever built. And it's not just about chatbots. It's about who controls your attention, your information, and eventually, your choices. In this video, we're going to talk about how we, as regular people, can stop AI monopolies from quietly owning the future. When people hear AI monopoly, they usually imagine big tech companies making chatbots. But the real meaning is much deeper. An AI monopoly is when only a small number of corporations control the biggest models, the data pipelines, the chips and compute, and the main assistants everyone uses daily. And if AI becomes the interface for everything, search, recommendations, shopping, news, creativity, work, then whoever owns that interface becomes the gatekeeper of reality. They don't just sell tools, they shape what you see, what you know, and how you make decisions. So what exactly are these companies buying with billions of dollars? They're not investing in features. They're investing in future leverage over how we live, work, and think. These are 5 silent incentives driving this race. Control of attention, becoming the default assistant you ask for everything. Control of spending, what should I buy suddenly becomes a monetizable answer. Control of information, what answers get surfaced and whose content is trusted. Lock-in, once an assistant knows your whole life, switching becomes almost impossible. And long-term power, data monopolies, infrastructure dominance, and maybe even AGI advantage. This is where I stay grounded, because the real risks aren't robots taking over, it's structural. If 1 or 2 companies own the brain that sits between humans and information, they don't need to control people directly. They just need to steer the defaults. That's enough to shape an entire society over time. We get less competition, less innovation, governments dependent on the same vendors, and people slowly losing sovereignty because they stop searching and just ask the assistant. Here's the part nobody talks about. We don't need to destroy AI. We don't need to fight big tech. We simply need to starve the monopoly and feed healthier ecosystems instead. And here are 6 ways we can do that. Open source models like Llama and Mistral, and local models running on your own laptop are the antidote to centralization. No data harvesting, no lock-in, no black box. Every time someone uses a local or open model instead of a cloud model, the monopoly loses a tiny bit of power. If millions of people do it, the economics shift. You don't need to be paranoid, just practical. Turn off unnecessary data sharing. Don't paste sensitive documents into random chatbots. Use tools like Proton, Firefox, Signal. Use AI for help, but not as your full brain dump. AI monopolies feed on data. The less we hand over, the less fuel they have to build giant behavioral models around us. I'm not a fan of overregulation, but zero regulation plus trillion-dollar AI monopolies is a perfect recipe for abuse. Healthy guardrails protect innovation by keeping the field open. Think limits on scraping, transparency requirements, privacy laws, antitrust action when needed. Every dollar you spend is a tiny vote, and if all the votes go to centralized AI giants, well, we know what happens. Choose ethical companies, use open source tools, share alternatives with friends, pay for privacy-respecting services when you can. The biggest risk isn't AI itself, it's dependence. Teach kids and adults critical thinking. Use AI as a second brain, not a first brain. Don't ask it to make your life decisions. Don't treat it like a guru. This is why I make the videos I do. Not because I'm anti-AI, but because I want people to understand the systems they're inside of. And to have the option that doesn't require handing everything to a handful of corporations. If you want more ethical tech, open source alternatives, and sovereignty-focused tutorials, hit subscribe and share this video if it helped you see the bigger picture.